Hey everybody, come for a walk on my trail with me. It's evening time in the Colorado Rockies. This is known as Shanahan Ridge, also known as my backyard. Love it up here. Love it up here. Just so pretty. Amazing views. Just amazing. I just had a really awesome day, a beautiful day, lots of cool conversations on Zoom with lots of different people, and the Joy Business Facilitator training coming at the end of all of it for about 3 hours this afternoon. It was such a gift. And you know, one of the things that I actually have been very excited about with this whole time that we are in is that just how different everything is. And, you know, there was a lot of things in the world that just were not working, like kind of almost everything, really. I don't know that many people that were functioning like really from kind of the rules and the regulations of this world who actually had a feeling that it was working for them. So, you know, when something starts to kind of, you know, fall apart or really, I would say change, become different, that if it wasn't working, then great, you know, let's celebrate, let's play, let's use that. Let's do everything we can to, you know, ride the wave of that and create it with it. And, you know, the thing that I love so much about Access Consciousness is that it is about that. It is actually really about being different and acknowledging the difference of you, celebrating the difference of you, and also becoming aware of how much you know about the future, how much you know about what's actually possible that we've never created in this world before. And boy, is now the time for that. Like we actually, there's such an opening right now, with all of everything, you know, changing. There's such an opening for new possibilities, new realities with money and business and bodies and relationships and everything, you know. And, I dare say, you know, if you're watching this, you probably know something about that. You probably have some awareness, some information about what else is actually possible that hasn't existed before. And one of the conversations that I facilitate alongside of business, which I love, is the Access X-Men body of work. And X-Men is really very much about acknowledging the difference that you be, and just some like very cool conversations that nobody has anywhere else, basically, that get us into the brilliance of us and everything that we think is wrong about us actually being our greatest strengths and capacities. And so, and the thing about X-Men is that we tend to very easily judge ourselves. Like if you have X-Men capacities, and what does that mean? It's not about defining yourself as an X-Men, but it's actually just going, yeah, I'm different. I have a different awareness of the world. I function differently from the rest of the world. Hey, Shayna. And really like beginning to, I got a switch. I got a can of water and a phone. And look at this, another amazing view. Just so beautiful. Springy time. But X-Men have this like just really different way of functioning in the world that the world has made wrong. And a lot of times Shayna, you're not different. A lot of times it may be, you know, that you're aware of 8 million things at one time, or you have no sense of linearity, or you have no sense of past, present, or future, or you move so fast that you can barely even keep up with yourself, or your body is really different, or how you are with money is really different. Okay, look at that. Jeez, I'm just going to stand here for a moment and so you can just enjoy. And up until now, these differences that we be have been very easy to identify as a wrongness. Like, for example, if you function really differently with money than the rest of the world, if you've never quite been able to figure out how to do money in this reality, if you've never, or business, like if you're like, I don't really get business, like I always thought that I was really bad at business because I didn't want to work in an office and sit at a computer all day, until I started realizing, oh, I know something different about business. So, but the thing is that if you don't fit in this reality, if you don't do money right, if you don't do business right, if you don't have like the right, good, perfect, and correct body, all of these things, you actually mostly will make that wrong. And guess what happens when you make you wrong? And when you make those things about you wrong is your very capacities that you have in those areas that are just different, your very capacities get buried, like never to be seen, underneath a huge pile of judgment. And when you judge you or you judge anything about you, you can no longer receive from it. So anywhere that you think you're shit with money, anywhere that you think you're shit with business, anywhere that you think you don't know what you're doing with your body, any of those, like with relationships, anything like that, you actually you actually are hiding your capacities. So Brandy says, I wish I knew what my capacities are. Well, I'll tell you what, honey, and this applies to everybody, start looking at everywhere that you judge yourself. Because everywhere that you judge yourself, underneath the judgment is probably some mega capacities that you have that don't fit into this reality, don't have a context anywhere in this reality, and therefore, there's no conversation anywhere in the world where you actually fit. But you don't need to fit. And especially right now, you don't need to fit. And I would say never again, because there's nothing, like everything that there was that you could fit into, it's bye-bye. It's gone. See, Brandy says totally shit with money and body and business. Guess what? What if you were fucking brilliant with money and body and business, but you have so much judgment there, and the way you function with those things is so different that you've never actually been able to see your capacities. So what do you do with that? Well, you start to look at what if your wrongness was your strongness, which is one of our like awesome questions in X-Men. What if your wrongness was your greatest strongness? Maybe I'll sit here for a sec. What if your wrongness was your greatest strongness? And it's about how do you unlock all of that stuff? Well, you do it by asking questions, because every time you ask a question, you open up awareness of something new, something different, a different possibility, a different capacity. And this is a world that I've been really digging into for a long time since this X-Men conversation came into my world of going, well, I thought I was shit with business, but maybe I'm actually great with business. I thought I was shit with money, but maybe I have capacities with money that nobody's ever shown me, because they're my capacities. They don't exist elsewhere in this reality. I thought I kind of didn't know what I was doing with my body, but maybe I do. And getting out of the judgment and getting into the curiosity and the wondering of, oh, okay, wait a minute. If I was just totally different here, and anything where I judge me, anywhere I've decided I'm wrong, is an indicator that I actually have brilliance in this area, well, then what might be possible? It's the beginning of a different exploration. And it's the beginning of a very liberating exploration, because when you begin to explore all these things that you've hidden and buried underneath the judgments that you have of you, when you begin to explore that and you begin to uncover it and you begin to unearth it and you begin to get curious and look beyond your judgments, lower your barriers with yourself, not need to fit into the rest of the world, and get curious about you and what you know that nobody else knows, is when you begin to give yourself access to your capacities in all of these areas that actually can not only change your life and make these areas of your life really great, but also unlock possibilities for the rest of the world. And right now what's going on is the world is in need of some new possibilities. I mean, we might have noticed, that the world is a little bit in need of some new possibilities, some different realities, some different ways of functioning. But the thing is you're not going to find it anywhere in any like structures that already exist. You're not going to find it. You're going to find it in you. You're going to find it in your awareness. You're going to find it underneath the judgment that you have believed to be so real and so true about you that is actually burying the brilliance of you, the difference of you, and what this world so needs right now to create a different reality. You are the only person who can unlock your awareness and give yourself access to what it is that you know, your capacities. And by doing so, you don't even have to tell anybody about it, but by doing so, you make it available to the rest of the world. So creating a different reality, a new reality right now, it's largely about this, you guys. It is largely about this. And I am going to be doing starting I think in like a week, April 8th, I'm doing a series that I've done a version of it one other time. It was one of my favorite telecall series ever. And it's called X-Men, the Creation series. And we're going to take 5 telecalls and one topic on each call. So the first one on business, money, bodies, sex, and earth. And we're going to take one conversation and look at this X-Men conversation, flipping everything that you thought was wrong about you into your greatest strength and unlocking your capacities in all of these different areas. I'm so excited about it. I cannot wait. It's going to be epic. And I am like, now's the time. I mean, I really have not actually, when I planned this whole Corona thing hadn't happened. Or, it was like not really happening the way that it is now. And I'm like, wow, the timing of this is amazing. The world requires and desires, well, the world doesn't require it, but if we're going to have a different reality, we need to step into the difference that we be. We need to stop hiding the brilliance that we have with all of these different areas of life, the brilliance that we be. We need to stop hiding it underneath all these places where we judge ourselves so that it can actually be available to us and, by default to the world. And like I said, you don't have to tell anybody about it or talk about it. You don't have to tell people what you're doing, but there's magic. There's magic in them thar bones of yours. There's magic that you have in be that you have not uncovered. I guarantee it. If you're listening still, I guarantee it. And it's amazing what happens when you stop judging you. This really, to me, the X-Men conversation is very much a conversation about getting out of judgment. And it's not just a conversation. It's actually a class where people come out the other side and they have so much less judgment in their worlds. They're like, their jaws are dropping on the floor. Like, people are in awe of what 1 day or 2 days can create, in terms of the level of judgment they let go of, in these X-Men classes. So this is not a day, but it's five calls, which is, equal to a day basically. And we are going to deep dive into the wonderful, magical, miraculous, crazy, different, weird, wild, wacky, totally unique brilliance of you with business, with money, with bodies, with sex, and with the earth. And boy, I can't wait. So come and play. It is April 8th, it starts. And the link is heathernichols.com/X-Men Creation. Come and play. Let's do this, people. See you there.